I've been trying to make more friends, and I feel like sometimes the way that friendship starts can be unsettling because friends have a responsibility to each other, and sometimes the responsibility comes before the friendship. So something happens, and then you're like, "Oh, as a friend, I should step up." But I don't know what type of friends we are, so I don't know if I have to step up like this because this is the first test. Like, you know what I mean? Like this is where we find out if we're friends or people who have each other's number. I was in an Uber, and when I was in the Uber, got chatting with my driver. You know, it was a long ride to the airport, so we're just over here, you know, commiserating about some stuff. We just talked about politics, talked about like background, everything, how we grew up and stuff. And then I heard a noise, and it was like it had like I don't know how to describe this because I don't know cars that well, but just know that, just imagine, I want you to close your eyes and imagine you're in a car and it's going so this car's choking on what? I don't know. But he's just talking, and he's just going on, and I'm asking him what I try when I ask people questions to ask interesting questions, not just a regular, like, how's your day going? Just like something, especially if you give me some information about yourself. So I'm asking him some more questions about, you know, like where he grew up and what his dynamic is with his family now that he's moved away versus like what he thought it'd be when he was younger. And he's telling me because I'm asking these elaborate questions, but the whole time all I can really hear is like, oh. And I didn't want to interrupt him, but finally I had to be like, "Yo, dog, do you hear your car right now? Like you drive it every day, so like maybe it just does this at 3 p.m. and you don't pay it any mind, but like this is concerning because it sounds like it's happening under me." And then finally I'm like, "Hey, can you hear your car?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, that's weird, right?" I was like, in my head, I'm like, have you been hearing it the whole time? And you just weren't going to say anything if I didn't say anything? And then we broke down. Yeah, the car broke down. And the way the car broke down is it wasn't all at once, but we started to go slow when I could tell his foot was on the gas. Like I could see him like kind of giving it a little bit, and we were still coming to a stop. And so I was looking out the windows and everything because I noticed all the other cars were going pretty fast. And finally we stopped, and he's like, "Oh man, oh, I guess it was really serious." And now I don't know what to say in this situation because I'm like, yeah, I guess so, but I don't know anything about cars. Like, I wish I was that dude that could be like, we'll be out of here in a jiff. Pop the hood. You know what I mean? Like, I wish I knew about cars so bad. Sometimes I see cars and I'm like, I think the engine's in the front. Like, I don't know anything about cars at all. Like, even when they change the oil, I never really know what they're doing. You know, I used to go to Pep Boys with my mom, and then she'd get the oil change, and they pull that stick out. I don't know why they have to have a stick in there to make sure there's oil in there. They pull a stick out, and they look at it with the rag and be like, seems dirty. And then they just put it back. I don't even know what they were looking for. I thought they were looking for like how deep the oil went on the stick, but then I was like, that can't be it, because they were looking at like the quality of the oil or something. They put it back. And so once we broke down, I was like, dang, yeah. This has never happened to me before. And he was like, this has never happened to me before. Man. What are we gonna do? I was like, we? Do you know what I mean? Like, this is the moment where if you're friends, this is where a friend steps up and is like, but I still had to get to the airport. Like, I was... I was like, hey, I'm gonna call Lyft. Because in the moment, it felt best to switch apps. I know this is one car, but in the moment, it felt like a whole thing. So I was like, I'm going to go ahead and get a Lyft. And so I ordered a Lyft while we waited in the car. And I felt, the whole time I felt, wow, I was like, should I offer to give him a ride? No, I just mean he was giving me a ride. And then my Lyft came, and the pickup spot is you usually standing outside. And so I felt bad for my Lyft driver because this dude pulls up and sees me get out of a car. Pop the trunk, grab my suitcase, lean over to him. Can you pop your trunk? Then I sit in his car, and we drive off, and then I look back, and my Uber driver waved. I was like, am I a bad friend? I didn't know we had a responsibility to each other like this. I'm sorry. Man, what was I supposed to do? I was late now. Even when I've been with friends that I've known for long, you just stay decently in touch and everything, or you see each other once in a while. Like I used to live in Chicago, and sometimes I go back and visit Chicago, and I see my friends that I made when I was there, and we only see each other when I'm there. They don't really come to New York, and I don't really meet up with them anywhere else. When I'm back in Chicago, we make sure to hang out. And I was with my boy, he was walking, going to get some food, and out of nowhere, a mini drone, like the toy, it fell out of the sky, fell on him, right? Hit him in the head. And I wish I was better in a crisis, because when it happened, when it hit his head, I went for cover too fast. But in my mind, I'm like, drones falling. How am I supposed to know it's just this one? How am I supposed to not target an attack? Maybe they were trying to get me. I talk very reckless about the administration. I'm over here. Maybe this one was meant for me. I know it's like child size. It wasn't like the full spy drone. The big old drone that was like when those drones were over New Jersey and everybody could hear them. They were playing loud. It wasn't one of those. It was really one of the ones you would get, Christmas Day. And then you go out and, thing came out of nowhere, hit him in the head. And by the time he grabbed his head to react, because it hit him hard, so he was clearly hurt, when he looked up to turn back to me, we were walking on the sidewalk together, but by the time he looked up at me again, I was under an awning that was Look, I hate being a coward, but it makes you fast. You know what I mean? I was really knees to chest with it. I wasn't even sure it hit him by the time I ran. Man, you ever start dodging before something even coming at you? That. And once again, my friend over there, and he even had a touch, a little touch of blood from a cut, behind his ear and everything. And he was looking at this thing, it's in pieces, shattered. And I knew I had better self-preservation skills than he did, because this is the one, he's the dude that got hit, and it still took him a while to be like, this dude got hit, was like, oh. When you've been hit from above, don't look up. Are you out of your mind? That's where the trouble came from. This dude got hit in the head from above and then was like, is there more? So he looked over at me I was like, get over it. He came under the awning He was like, once again, I had a friend ask me, what are we gonna do? And I'm not proud of it. But I told him, I was like, it seemed like they after you. Whoever this is, I don't have anything to do with this. I don't live here anymore. I'm not going down with you. It's very important, especially as men, that we hold on to, we maintain strong friendships. It's very important because on our own, like really solo, isolated men, we don't do well. Because when we don't have friends, when we isolate ourselves as men, we do end up, shooting. This is true. Yeah. At least if you have friends, you're like, hey, y'all want to go shoot targets together? It is still very difficult and a skill to just have the courage to walk up to a person that you may never see again, that you don't have to have anything to do with, and become friends. Like I even look at myself, and I have friends through comedy that I wouldn't have met if it wasn't for comedy, because comedy's the thing, that's the main thing we had in common. We wouldn't have been friends outside of comedy because we just would have never run into each other in any other space, in any other way. And that goes for people who do lots of different things, people who do music, any special interest. This might be the one thing where you met this person you would have not met otherwise. I said all that to say I could not have imagined, if you gave me all the time in the world and a list of anyone who had ever lived, that Kid Rock and RFK Jr. would be this close. This is wild. This is like, I did not see this coming. Kid Rock and RFK Jr.'s friendship is out of this world. I've truly never seen anything like it. I've seen plenty of like middle-aged to older men become friends, but the way that they have bonded feels different. It feels very different. They put out an ad. They put out an ad, and for those of you who have not seen the ad, it's gonna sound like I'm lying until you watch the ad. You have to watch the ad to believe what I'm telling you, but this happened, and I cannot be one of the few people that knows about it. It went viral. This is what's annoying about viral now, is that it went viral in a way that still didn't hit everybody enough for everybody to talk about it. Because then there were people who saw it that you could see that day who saw it and who hadn't seen it. Because the people who saw it were like... Everyone who saw it looked like somebody poured Sprite in their eyes. Like it was... I remember I was watching. It was confusing more than they. Okay, so RFK Jr., I think his next move is like, hey, let's get these ads out there, let people know that they should be healthy. Which is usually something you have to make an advertisement for. Like, I can't believe they're spending real money. They're spending like Super Bowl commercial level money to be like, yay, yo, hey, remember apples? No, yo, hey, look, they still here. Don't forget apples, all right? Like, put the Oreos down. We're not going to do anything to take all of the toxic chemicals out of the candy and the cookies and the stuff, but put it down, even though it's incredibly addictive. Pick up an apple that's probably genetically modified. Just apple. Just remember apple. And so this ad starts with Kid Rock and RFK Jr. shirts off, right? If I had to see it, you have to hear it. Over here groaning already. It's gonna be a long night if you're over here. No, it starts out with RFK Jr. and Kid Rock, the two beacons of health. like two of the healthiest people I've ever seen. If you had just met people and then you saw them, you'd be like, that's people and health right there. The ad, it starts with RFK Jr. and Kid Rock flexing shirtless for a different camera. They're not looking at the camera filming them. They're over here.
Now we gotta watch it.
And look. The olive branch that I do have to it is true. It's just a fact that RFK Jr. is like 70 and he is ripped. That is happening. He does have muscle. It does look like somebody poured it into a mold of a person, but it is muscle. Like he is. No, you know what I mean? Okay. No. Anybody here who grew up on dollar store toys knows that general toy that they made. You know that toy that they clearly used like the Superman mold for, but they didn't have the copyright for Superman, and so he was like Mr. Man, and so then they poured the plastic in that mold, and they didn't even make him white. He was like pink, like it was like that. It was like RFK Jr. looked like if a raisin did push-ups. Like he does have the muscle. Like you can see with his shoulders and everything, his arms. Like, all right, he has the muscle, and it makes me wonder what fitness means. Because he does look like I'm being honest. I'm just trying to be fair. RFK Jr., when you talk about just like his figure, he does look healthier than most 70-year-olds. But then everything he says seems like it would kill anybody. Like everything he describes doing, he's like, oh yeah, I just been eating wheatgrass for 67 years. You're like, nothing else? No. And that's not even, that's a bad example because that's not actually a true thing he said. A true thing he said was that he eats roadkill. And it's like that, all right, I feel like that would take me out, so. It feels like a weird balance of health that he has. Like in one instance, he's like ripped at 70. It's like, okay, how do you pull that off? And then he'll also talk about eating a bear carcass. And you're like, there's no way. There's just no way. And so it starts with them flexing at what looks like a different camera. And Kid Rock got a towel over his shoulder that's covering up a lot. It's covering up a lot of body. And I get it, because if I'm honest, like once again, I'd say a lot of things. But if I had to stand next to RFK Jr. and he looked better than me, I'd have a whole toga on. I'd be like, you're not catching me today looking smooth while you looking ripped. That's not the cards for me. And then it shows them, the camera pans to a taxidermied bear with a hat on holding what looks like a sword. And that's when I started to lose where we were doing health. Even if the ad was like 2 seconds and it was them be like, ugh, and then it was make America healthy again, I'd be like, all right, that's weird. But at least it was all about like looking a certain way. Once I saw the bear, I was like, what's happening? And then it said like Kid Rock and Robert Kennedy Jr. present. And as soon as it said present, you could hear Kid Rock in the background doing one of his songs. The way they layered the ad as far as like just sonically, like the mix is insane, and then visually too much is going on. Because then you had a Kid Rock song play. I don't know what he was saying. So that's in your ear, right? So if you had your AirPods in, you're like, who in the room with me right now? Because it doesn't look like a music video for what they do. Bang, bang. And then in front of you, you see the image of the bear melt to just the flag flowing and a shark for no reason. Also, it's very important that I point out, it's been 4 seconds. The whole ad is insane. You gotta watch it. So you see a shark for no reason, and the shark that pops up out of the water, I'm like, is that the shark from Jaws? Like, what does that have to do with anything? And it said that, you know, Kid Rock and Robert Kennedy Jr. present Rock Out Workout. And then you see a bald eagle, once again, for no reason. Found footage, it looks like, of a bald eagle flying. And then they cut to RFK Jr. and Kid Rock walking, like, away from the camera. We're looking at their backs now, walking away from the camera in slow motion. All right? The problem with the slow motion that they did is that it seems like in real life, Kid Rock and Robert F. Kennedy Jr. were just walking slow. So it's extra slow motion because it was slow movement. So what are you slowing down? If they had been running, you'd be like, oh, they about to get it because it's slow. But they were like... And then, while we're cutting between them walking in slow motion, we see them holding a flag outside by the pool across what looks like a mini Statue of Liberty. Kid Rock's house is insane. If this is his home, I don't know why he has anything in there the way he has it. And then Kid Rock is taking his shirt off, once again, in slow motion. It's up in the air. And then right as he's about to, like, pop RFK Jr. on the butt with his shirt, we see flames, just flames like an explosion. And then it cuts to them working out as RFK Jr. doing the curls. And once again, RFK Jr. has, like, genuinely, like, has a strong looking body. Kid Rock looks exactly how you think he would look. Like, I've never seen somebody's body, because you know, okay, remember in COVID when you met people masked up and then you finally saw the second half of their face and then you realized you didn't put faces together the way you thought you did? Do you remember those old slide games where you'd have to, like, mix and match faces and you're like, I played that when I was little. I know what the bottom of their mouth looked like. And then as soon as they took off the mask, like as soon as everybody vaccinated, we could take them off and you saw them. I met so many people twice. When I tell you people who I met and I became friends with during COVID. And then, they over here, hey, Josh, how you doing? I'm like, hi, sir. How are you? Didn't recognize him at all. I don't understand how faces work in the league. If you cut off here, you basically don't have a face to me anymore. So then you see Kid Rock, and you see him working, like RFK Jr. is like working out, and then you see Kid Rock doing some sit-ups. And they cut from the first sit-up that he was doing by himself to a sit-up where RFK Jr. holding his feet. Which means the people making this insane ad, this truly, like, out of human consciousness ad, saw Kid Rock do a sit-up and they were like, not like that. And when it got RFK Jr. to hold his feet, and look, you should hopefully be in a position where if you are out here doing sit-ups, you can have a friend, they're working out with you, that holds your feet. I'm not making fun of that at all. What I do think is unfortunate is that clearly they had done several takes because Kid Rock did the first sit-up no problem. I don't know what happened between sit-up 1, 2, and 3, but the third one, seemed like he was fighting for his life coming up. First one, he's over here. Oh, second one. Oh, third one. I was like, y'all just use the earlier takes. Like, y'all already had flames for no reason. Why do you have to use the actual take of him struggling a bit? And then after that, we see them in a sauna. And they're in the sauna, and maybe I've been using saunas wrong my whole life. I thought you got in the sauna to like sweat it out, or I thought you were supposed to sit in there, chat about business or something like that. They had the exercise bike in the sauna, which seemed like a guarantee for a heart attack. That seemed like heart attack recipe right there. Just get a sauna, get exercise bike, hop on, and die. And so they took turns. Whoever was on the exercise bike was, looking at the camera, and then the other one would just be in the background of the sauna doing push-ups. And I was like, all right, I guess if you're trying to sweat extra, this makes sense, but I've always just sat in the sauna. Right afterwards, RFK Jr. walks out of the sauna, and jeans on. Hops into a cold plunge. Let me tell you the psychotic behavior of jeans on cold plunge. A cold plunge is already something you have to get your mind right to do. You already have to get yourself, all right, it's going to be good for me, helps muscles, calm down the nervous system, whatever your reasons are for getting in there. To get in there in jeans means that you have left society behind. I saw this man hop into a cold plunge in jeans. I'm like, there's no human way. This man hopped in, and obviously barefoot. Took off the socks and the shoes like you would before you get in, but left the jeans on. Do you not wear underwear, sir? I wouldn't be surprised if he did. I wouldn't be surprised if he was like, no, I actually just wrap my undergarments in barbed wire. It's good for... He gets out of the cold plunge and then just starts walking around Kid Rock's house looking for Kid Rock in what is one of the worst stage sketch portions of anything I've ever watched. Because he's clearly supposed to, for this next scene, find Kid Rock and then bring him to do the next activity. Because Kid Rock's lounging around, right? He's not taking it serious. Come on, Kid Rock. We got more working out to do, right? The problem is he walking around Kid Rock house wet, in wet jeans, stops right in front of the camera and goes, "Where's Kid?" Not only do you know the answer, but please, I'm begging you, in the time that we're living in the year that we're living in this administration that we're under, please, as a 70-year-old man, no matter who you are, no matter where you are, please do not walk around soaking wet in jeans saying, "Where's Kid?" The idea that this man walk around somebody's house dripping wet, "Where's Kid?" You better have dementia. You walking around here, "Where's Kid?" And then he finds Kid Rock lounging around in the pool and everything, and then he's like, come on. So they can go play pickleball. Pickleball. The healthiest pastime of all time. Pickleball. They had a little face-off, and then every time they hit the ball, it would either be lightning bolts or flames that they had imposed onto the screen. But they played a couple of serves of pickleball, and then they go back to the pool. RFK Jr. takes his shirt off again, and then with jeans, jumps into the pool. He loved being wet with jeans. This man's favorite thing is being wet with jeans. I thought it was eating roadkill, but apparently it's being wet with jeans. And then they both had a glass. They both had a glass. They both toasted. They knocked glasses together. And it wasn't water. It wasn't water. You should drink your water. It's good for you. Please drink water. Stay hydrated. It's very important, especially when it's hot out. Drink your water. Drink water every day. Take care of yourselves and drink your water. They were not drinking water. They were drinking milk in the pool. This is one of the sickest things I've seen in a long time. This is, look. If you come to my house and drink milk in my pool, I'm calling an exorcist. I'm calling an exorcist immediately. There's no way you should be drinking milk in the pool. I was raised, personally, I don't know about y'all, but it's hard to tell what was like actual passed down wisdom and what was just stuff people told you when you were little. I was told you shouldn't eat or drink 30 minutes before you get in the pool. I thought that they were like, don't do that, you'll cramp up. You know what? My mom would tell me that all the time. Don't get in the pool if it's been less than 30 minutes since you ate or drank. You'll cramp up in the pool and you'll die. And the confidence with which she told me I'd die was startling, because I'm like, but you'll be there. Like, why would I still die? She made it sound like she'd stand at the edge of the pool and be like, I always save people who listen, so sound like that's you. No, I was, blown away. I was like, yeah, don't eat or drink 30 minutes before you get in the pool. I even heard some people grew up hearing 45 minutes. I don't even know how that's possible. If you have a pool party, nobody's going to make it in. You know? But they were sitting in the pool drinking milk. And then the text came over on the screen that said whole milk. As if that was our problem with this. As if they jumped in the pool and started drinking milk and we were like, that better not be 2%. I'm gonna lose my mind if they drink 1% milk in the pool right now. They even had the whole milk font they used was also disgusting because it was dripping. It was like, remember the Goosebumps font? Like, it was that. It said that, but whole milk. And the W falling off, like a W dripping. It looked like, you remember Slime Time on Nickelodeon? It was like, they just toasted and drinking whole. Oh, imagine. Oh, this is so unfair. Imagine being in the pool and somebody got a milk mustache on. No. If you're ever in the pool with somebody and they got a milk mustache and then they go under the water, drown them. Like, that's not somebody we need back up here with us. That's insanity. It's very weird just to watch them in the pool together, and then they were over here toasted. Kid Rock raised his glass of milk, mouthful of milk, and then came over black, make America healthy again. And the thing about an ad is it's supposed to raise awareness or make you want something. And in this ad alone, you've turned people off of saunas, off of cold plunges, off of jeans maybe. Who knows? Like this. I put on my jeans today, was thinking about how RFK was dripping in Kid Rock's house. I've been trying to find positive things on the internet, which has been difficult. it's difficult when you have a problem of being like chronically online, but you also want to be positive. I was in a roller coaster this past week. That little monkey punch. Yeah. Yeah, this is crazy. All right, for those of y'all not on, I know you probably didn't see it because as viral as it went, it's all splintered now. So there was this little monkey called Punch, which already too cute of a name. You got to name him like, Derek or something. You can't just like Punch is like too sweet. And it's a baby monkey, and he's at the zoo, and he wasn't accepted by the other monkeys, and so the zookeepers gave him like this little plushie monkey, and so he brought the plushie monkey everywhere with him because it was his only friend, and it was really sweet to see him with the plushie. But then he'd go up to other monkeys, and they'd be like, like some of the monkeys are actually bullying him, which was really sad to watch. He was running from me, he was scared and stuff like that. But then every once in a while he'd walk up to the monkey, and then another monkey would be like, is he carrying a dead body? Like he's still I couldn't decide if the monkeys didn't like him because he had a toy and they didn't, or didn't like him because they didn't like how attached he was to the plushie. But then there was a part of me that was like, no, if you're a monkey, you don't have any concept of what like a plushie is. So they're probably like, I think this little one, they named him Punch, he probably killed. He murdered a monkey. And so we're all on the internet like, leave Punch alone. But the monkeys in there are like, yay, look, if he walk up, you gotta square up because this one to kill him. This one really, he really lived that life. You see, he killed that other one, been dragging him around and hugging him. No, he been hugging. That's a real psychopath to kill somebody and then be like, I miss you, dog. Like that's terrifying. I've never seen that in my life. I had to be rescued from the wild. I've never seen anything like that ever. Joe, it's crazy. And so then you saw them like, he would walk up and they run away and everything, or they like, ignore him, like they just straight up turn around. And that was probably one of the coldest. A monkey turning around on you is so disrespectful because you know how smart they are. Like that means they exactly mean to do that. You know what I mean? Sometimes my dog will fall asleep with me on the couch, and he'll fall asleep close. It's very sweet. He has his little legs like on my chest, something like that, and I'm watching TV, I'm laying my head on the pillow, and then he'll fart. This dog will fart. This dog farted in my eye. This dog farted way too close to my face. Because when they're laying there so cute, you forget that they can be disgusting. And so you let them lay too close to you or the pillow. And so my dog farted. I spring up because my dog has farted in my right eye. And because I spring up, my dog wakes up. When my dog wakes up, he's like, oh. It's not intentional at all. When a monkey turns its back on you, it means exactly what we mean when we turn our backs on you. Like, Punch would walk up, hey y'all, how's it going? They turn around. At first, when I first saw it, I got mad. I was like, y'all leave, just let Punch hang out with you. Y'all not going anywhere. It's a zoo. There's nowhere else for you to be. You might as well make friends. You got your minds over here ostracizing little Punch. That's why he got the plushie down, because y'all not nice to him. But now when I think about it, you know, like, let's say Punch is right here and then walks up and he's like, hey, and then you turn around. Maybe they weren't turning around like, Maybe they were like, okay, y'all, wait, is he still behind me? Is he still behind me? Well, if you don't know, look. I don't know if y'all saw it yet, but Justin Timberlake got arrested. Justin Timberlake got arrested for DWI in what he was in the Hamptons. How fast do you have to be going as a white man in the Hamptons to get pulled over? Because I was reading the story and this man gets pulled over, and then I guess his friends noticed that he left or whatever, so then they also left, and then they saw him getting pulled over, so they pulled up and they were trying to like beg the cop to cut him a break. They're like, you know, he's I don't know if he was close to home, but they were like making excuses for him. And in my head, even in that moment, I was like, why didn't y'all give him a ride? Like, that's Justin Timberlake is so rich. How do you have all that money and you don't have a driver? That's crazy. That's so irresponsible. You got all the NSYNC money. Could have hired one of them to drive. I was reading the story. It was heartbreaking. Not even as a, you know, I don't know what's happening. I truly don't. I truly have no idea. But like, that shit sounded like an attack. God, who makes that their alarm? God damn. That's the most savage. It feels like my high school bully came to the show. That is wild. No, you're fine. You know, life happens, but you gotta pick a different one, because that feels so crazy. Because the first time I heard it, I was like, maybe I'm a little too hot in this hoodie. Maybe I'm about to faint because I feel like I'm outside right now. And then I heard it again, I was like, nah, that's crickets. That's... Jeez, what? I didn't know we had beef like that. You were over here like... And I'm gonna sit in the front too. I got his ass. No. No, I got him. Damn, no, it feels like an ex paid you. That is so wild. No, I'm gonna wait till he think he making one of his little points. No, I got his ass. Oh, God. Oh. No. I don't know. I feel weird about it. I feel like maybe you look at Justin Timberlake and whatever hex Britney Spears put on is working. It's working overtime. And fame is a very interesting thing. Fame is a mystery. It really is, because Justin Timberlake is doing an arena tour. A whole arena tour. But when he got pulled over and they asked him to step out of the car, the cop didn't know who he was.
The cop didn't know who he was because the cop was too young. And I don't know about you, but that hurt me. I was reading the article and it said that the cop was too young to know, and I think I got 3 wrinkles on my knuckles. Right then, I was like, No, it was absolutely insane. Doesn't know who he was. Like if only Justin had been pulled over by a single mom of 2. You know what I mean? Just a millennial single mom of 2. She would have been like, I'll give you a ride. Come on, Justin. No, put the lights on and everything. Woo, woo, we gotta get Justin home. Then they took that man to jail to take a picture. That picture, I don't know if you've seen it, but it's not an album cover. That face that Justin made is the most encapsulating face of a man in trouble I've ever seen in my life. You know what I mean? Like you can see in his eyes, he thinking about how he'll have to call Jessica. Whoa. That was wild. And then this is my conspiracy theory. There's nothing to back up what I'm saying. There's not a shred of evidence and there's not a word from anyone that backs up what I'm saying. But I think, okay. Do y'all remember Justin? You remember that decade that Justin wanted to be black? Do you remember that? Do you remember that decade that Justin was like, y'all remember that, right? That I feel like at first when he got there and they flashed the picture, and also I'm sure that they turned the brightness up extra on mug shots because like people who you could tell were ready don't look ready when they take the picture. That thing is so bright, it must be prolonged, make you open your eyes to be like, huh. Like it's. I think after he took the picture and he's also sobering up a bit, he was like, wait. This is just street cred. Let me go ahead and milk it, right? Because there have been varying reports on whether or not Justin was handcuffed, right? And personally, my conspiracy, I don't think he was. I feel like Justin was like, look, I know I'm about to go, but can you cuff me real quick? And the cop was like, what? It's like, can you cuff me real quick? Like, just, you know, there's gonna be people waiting out there. Can you cuff me real quick? And he's like, I don't even know you. Like, please just do it. He's like, I'm not gonna do that, but I'll just stand in front of the door, hold the door open. He was like, okay, all right. And then he walked out, and if you look at the thing, he's got his hands clasped together, but you don't see any like loose chain dangling. And when you zoom into the picture, it looked like a little bit of leather on that. Like, that's a bracelet. That's a bracelet, but then JT over here doing his best Malcolm X impression. My man, another black man locked up. Yeah. Actually, okay. Did y'all see the white woman that got in trouble for saying the N-word? I know you said which one. Okay, fair enough. Okay. I say the because this was the for me. It's like other people were saying it, people were saying it all the time, but this one felt especially crazy. So I followed the story because it is captivating. Okay, so basically, okay, where do I even start? There's a thing called trad wife. Now, trad wife is short for traditional wife, right? Trad wife is like this content thing that they do on TikTok. It's spilled over to Instagram a little bit, and it's basically women doing like stuff around the house while telling women to be better women, right? It's just like, why don't you be a lady while she makes a pie or something? I don't get it. It's not for me. I'm not who watches it. But basically, there was this young white woman that was over here cooking something. It didn't look done. And maybe it was done. Maybe she's bad at it. I don't know. But it did not look done. But then she's talking about her friends, and then she says, because then some of my friends out here are just like, out here dating these guys and, broke ass niggas, right? And she says it without missing a beat. She says it like you're not gonna hear it, right? So then, of course, everyone who saw this, like, it started this frenzy online, right? And so there were all these people, she did it on TikTok, there was all these people commenting, replying, what's wrong with you? What are you doing? Are you trolling? All stuff like that, right? And then she makes another video, and she's like, look, I made a video earlier that offended a community or something, and like, and I've really listened to the feedback, and I'm not gonna lie, I don't really give a care. Like, I don't know. It's like, so then they found her job, right? Which is crazy because you a trad wife. Why you working? Why? You know what I mean? Why are you? You're supposed to be a traditional. Why are you working at all? You can't trad wife on the side. You can't. There's no such thing as halfway crooks. You know what I mean? You gotta be all in or all out, right? And so then they found her job, then they got her fired from her job, right? So then everyone was like talking about how, she clearly got fired, even though they don't say her name. They issued a press release because why else would they do it? And they were like, yeah, certain individual's not working here anymore. So then she starts trying to cozy up to like, Newsmax and like One Nation News and just a lot of the alt-right on Twitter and everything. And she takes this spin of like, I was canceled, right? So she gets on Newsmax real quick, but she also just doesn't quite have the juice. You know what I mean by that? She doesn't quite have the like, the presence and the energy of like a real racist is gonna be a newscaster. You know what I mean? Like, she just doesn't have it. Like, when you're watching her, you're like, she's saying bad things and they're annoying, but I'm not angry. She just doesn't have the oomph to get me there. You know what I mean? Like, I've just never seen diet racism before, but that was it. So then she makes more videos trying to double down harder. And in these upcoming videos, she just gets way worse with it. Gets like even more bigoted with it. So she's tweeting the N-word all the time. She's been tweeting the N-word nonstop since she got fired, right? And now she's making videos where she's saying the F-word, right? And so she's just going after everybody, just trying to prove how terrible that she is, right? And so then she starts trying to cozy up to a lot of these, like, especially neo-Nazis as much as she can. And then a turn takes place. An incredible turn that I could not have predicted. One of the most insane things that has maybe happened so far this century, the neo-Nazis start rejecting her as a psyop. Because they feel what I feel. They see the video and they're like, you don't mean it though. Like, it's not... It's not like coming out of your stomach, you know what I mean? Like, it's not, you're not even saying it with bass, like, and so then they were like, no, don't trust her, okay? Don't listen to her, don't follow her. She working for the CIA, she probably a Fed. They all turned on her. They started bullying her. It was absolutely insane. It was one of those things where then she keeps trying to cozy up to him. She keeps trying to like take pictures with him. She's going to events and stuff like that. And some of the ones that roll with her are rolling with her in real time, and they're like making fun of how other people are making fun of her. But you can tell she's still not like in yet. You know, she's not like with them hard. But then there are some people that can't stand her so much. This happened like a week ago. So in the course of 3 days, they can't stand her so much that they start digging up her old tweets, right? So then another thing I never would have seen coming. They dig up her old tweets and they find old, not racist tweets from like 2 years ago where she was telling somebody, hey, that's actually appropriation. You might not want to do that. And so now she getting canceled by the neo-Nazis for old, not racist tweets. So then she over here fighting for her life, trying like N-word, F-word, everything, just throwing it all out there, trying to see what sticks. And then other people will comment under her on Twitter like, is this you, bitch? Miss Stolen Land? You know? And she just played it. She played it poorly. That's what happened. She could have had a real shot. She could have. But she doesn't have enough of the real. You can tell she's not really racist. I know it's a weird thing to say about somebody who's been saying the N-word nonstop for a week, but you can just tell she doesn't have the fire in her. You know, that's not how you do it. You were making racist people uncomfortable. There were racist people commenting under her like, this is uncouth. That's not how you do it. If you really want to be somebody as a racist, if you really want to make waves as a bigot, you start out slow. You start with a bunch of slow and steady dog whistles over decades. You know what I mean? You never say the word outright. You throw out a thug here every once in a while. You know what I mean? Every once in a while, like on a holiday, you can get real crazy with it. You can do like a animals or something. It's like, get people going, you know? Plant your feet, but don't dig too deep. And then after a while, you know, you start to ingratiate yourself. They start to be like, hey, she's one of us. And then they bring you in, and maybe they bring you in on a temporary basis, and they give you like a little guest spot every now and again. And then after a couple decades, you get a hosting gig, you know? Because be honest, like if a week from now, Megyn Kelly said the N-word, we'd be like, yup. We expected that. She's been earning it over decades. The expectation lands right on the strip perfectly. And then we also find out that she might be single, so you're not only not a trap wife, you're not a wife. What are you doing? Where's your man right now? Like you weren't a trap wife. You were working. You were a mom, but you were working, and you're a single working mom. That's a bigger demographic to appeal to. She really put herself in the position where she really needs a husband like this.
It is so wonderful to be here. Thank y'all so much for having me, and Happy New Year. You know, we're doing another New Year. It's funny. Okay, it's hard to know who to say Happy New Year to, because some people already seem like they're not having a great one. Yeah, like you'll see somebody and be like, I'm gonna let this one go. Being here for New Year's was great. I went with my girlfriend and some friends, and we had a great time. And then it was midnight, and so a little while after midnight, about like 12:03. I don't know if you can tell from looking at me, but I'm not like fun. So 3 minutes after midnight, I was like, oh, okay, I think I'm gonna go home. And so I started walking home. And one of the wildest things about a new year is that it sneaks up on you in a way that you would think stops happening. As you get older, you're like, you're not gonna get me this time. I'm gonna be ready for you. And then it's over. and there's a whole nother year, and there's things you wish you could leave behind in the new. You didn't have time to like fix who you were for the new year. Whenever they say like new year, new me, that it's two sides of that coin. It's a new year. The year did its part. Now you have to be a new person. There's so many things you wish you could leave behind. Like, it would be great if a new year meant there were just no more bad habits. Like, the bad habits melted off. They were like 2025 things. And now in 2026, you just don't even think to do those things anymore. That's not one of your habits at all. I was walking back to the Airbnb, and I saw this guy crossing paths with me. And I was, in my head, I was like, maybe I should say Happy New Year. The year's 5 minutes old. I was even about to say it, but as I'm passing this guy, as we cross paths, I just hear this guy to himself go, no, 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 no. And holding his stomach so tight, no, 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 no. And I knew he wished he could have left it in 2025. I've been having a great time eating here because y'all forget, y'all take for granted. I don't even know everyone in here, but I know what I'm saying is true. You take for granted that your food is food. And like, your food is food. I live in the US. I live in America where the food is food shaped. One thing I will say, for the food in America, it will always be the shape of food that you're expecting. And we've come out with new shapes. We have new shapes for food. You want chicken. Let's have some chicken. Great, we've made a chicken nugget for you. Okay, I'm still familiar with those. Will it be like a little clump of meat with some breading around it, grilled up, or will it be deep fried, nice and delicious? No, this one will look like a dinosaur. Is it dinosaur meat? No, it's chicken. Or at least we say it's chicken, but it's dinosaur-shaped meat. All the food will be the right shape it's supposed to be, in the shape of the food that you think you're buying. But when you eat it, you're like, you got me. This isn't food. We literally have a show where we shape all manner of things and ask the question, is this cake? That should give you an indication of what the food is like. All the food here is like food. And don't get me wrong, you have your junk food. You do. You have plenty of your own junk food, and that's very cute, okay? I've had this conversation, I've even had this argument with plenty of Australians, and they'll be like, no, we have our unhealthy food. I'm like, no, that's not what I said. That's not what I was talking about. You have your junk food, which is it's a fascinating attempt at junk food. But that's like telling an American that you also have junk food is like meeting LeBron and being like, I play too. Like, you can't even begin to understand the levels of junk food we have reached. We are the king. And not to come over here and tell you that America's better at something and be a real American about it, but like we are very good at junk food. We're so good, we're dying. We're dying in droves. We can't stop dying, but we also can't stop eating because we went in the lab and we were like, they won't be able to say no to this concoction. Your food is like food. That's crazy. Full food. Like it has, like you can feel nutrients hitting. You can feel, okay, look. I know this is a bad example, but you know like when somebody does drugs on TV and then because they don't have enough time to show what actual drug use looks like, or maybe they don't want to, they make it look like drugs happen like that, like immediately, like someone does the drug and then they're like, ugh, like it's... Okay, that is what your food is like. When I'm eating it, I'm like, that is what wow. I had like steak here. I had steak.
And I felt like, after I ate the steak, I felt like I could fight. Not as in I was angry. I felt like I knew how, because so much protein had gone into my body. And like actual protein, not the protein that we put out. Because in the US, we have lots of protein. We love making everything protein packed. Protein will make up for how much sugar we also put in the thing. So then we'll have protein on protein on protein. So if you eat this, that's all your protein for the day. And you want to be big and strong, don't you? And then you eat that protein, and then they'll make a commercial a couple months later where they're like, hey, did you eat this protein? We're so sorry. That was poison. That was like actual rat poison that we put in there. It was the same color as our protein mix, and so you understand how mistakes get made. But here, I was eating, wow, whoa. In the U.S., we have foods that you don't have here that are like junk food, but we also have flavors that y'all don't have here, because you have like laws out of self-respect, and so the law here, it'll be against the law to bring that flavor here. Someone, and I don't even know if they're here, then congratulations to you, more power to you. But I imagine they're not even here. Someone from a long time ago was like tasting things from other places, and then they were like, that's good. Oh, what's that? Oh, that's great. Yeah, bring that. And then they had some flavors from the U.S. and they must have died. They must have promptly died, because you don't have those flavors here, and they're like illegal to bring here. But we love them in the U.S. A child's favorite flavor won't even be a flavor that you're thinking of. You'll think of something like spice. You might even think of a seasoning. Like, oh, paprika. A little bit of pepper. Oh, this is so good. No, I'm not. You're talking about like seasoning from food. You're used to food. It's not what I'm talking about, right? I'm talking about flavors that you could never imagine because they don't exist in nature, because they're not real. Use your imagination. I'm talking about flavors that don't make any sense. You will talk to a child in the US and their favorite flavor is blue. I don't mean blueberry. I don't mean a natural, the hot pink but blue color that's usually just on posters for movies. That will be the color of a food, and that color has a flavor, and that will be that child's favorite flavor because they've never been introduced to food. And then, as someone from the U.S., as an American, you travel, and you find out that we have this horrible reputation for being like loud and boisterous, dumb stuff. And I don't care where you're from, everyone has at least some shred of national pride where they want to be like, no, we are not. I am not the worst of us that you may have met. Right? Everyone has that thing. And so you're inclined, when you hear these rumors about the U.S., you're inclined to be like, no, I read all the time. I read, and I'm perfectly easy to get along with and everything. What would make you think that we're what would make you think that we're this way? And then they'll tell you a story that once you hear it, you can tell that they're telling the truth. They'll tell you a story that breaks your heart a little bit. They'll tell you about meeting like a nice American family that actually were, well-behaved, perfectly pleasant people, but they seemed a bit dumb. And you're like, why are you judging them? That's a prejudice that you think they're dumb. And then they'll tell you, oh, well, we had a conversation, and, the mom and the dad were perfectly nice people, but then we turned and, the child was trying to get his mom's attention, and we said hello, and he said hello. And then, they were talking. And the kid was looking up and saying, Mommy, can I have something? And then we asked the kid, oh, yes, what would you like? What's your favorite? And the child was like, my favorite flavor is blue. And as soon as you hear that, you're like, yep, that definitely happened. That 100% happened. We make attempts at food. We still have the fruits and vegetables for sale in the U.S. They're there. Like you can buy, if you went, you could buy them. You would see them there. And you would even think, oh, this is just, you would walk in to a grocery store and you'd be like, this is just like a Kohl's. Look, it's basically a Woolworths. And then you'll bring the produce home and you'll eat it because they can't fool you forever. And you'll take a bite of like a blueberry. I remember when I had my first blueberry of this trip and my first blueberry in Australia, period. Because I've been several times now. And I had my first blueberry and I was like, wow, whoa. It makes you want to strangle someone for keeping the secret of blueberries from you. Everybody walking around all nonchalant, smiling, acting like the blueberries here aren't good. I see you keeping secrets. You thought you could get it past me? Had a blueberry here and I was like, jeez. What is, oh, wow. Did that thing where you don't want the food to be over. I did that weird thing where, you know, I bought several blueberries. I didn't buy just one blueberry. So it's like, I don't know why I was like Oliver Twisting it, but like it, bought this blueberry and then I was just, I was scared to have another one. Because I was like, what if that was the best blueberry? What if that one was the best though? And then the next one is gonna taste like the ones I'm used to. And I had another one and the other one was crispier. It was tighter. It was like, cause this is the thing, this is what's crazy that you take for granted. Y'all put your produce out when it's like ready. Don't let the U.S., anyone in the U.S. but me, I'm the only one your secret is safe with. Don't let them come over here and find out that you put out the avocado when it's ready. That's not what's happening in the U.S. I'll tell you about it in a second. But the blueberry, it was tight. It fought me a little. I put blueberry in my mouth and tried to start chewing. Blueberry over here being coy. It was like, No. What are you doing? Okay. That's not what's happening. In the U.S., you have a blueberry, and it is blueberry shaped. They play a mean game. It's blueberry shaped. It's even, you pick it up, it's even blueberry weight, and then you pop it in your mouth and you start chewing and you're like, this is a nipple. There's no way that it has no give to it. I'm still chewing. This is crazy. The avocados here, the fact that you can buy it and say you could eat it that day. You could not. You could save a day. In the U.S., we do a thing with our avocados where we put them out as if they're gonna be food. And then it's a lottery that you can't possibly win of which avocado will be a ripe avocado. Because there are some avocados where you feel it and you're like, okay. And then there's the little test you can do. Like, if you press, just give it a little bit of push with your thumb. And if it pushes too easy, it's a little bit overripe. And if it has no push, then you might as well give it a year. I've had a couple of avocados here where I can admit they were a little tough, but still they were like ready. It was like they were put out with some sort of care. But the avocados in the U.S., you buy one, and you're like, all right, I like to gamble. Let's play. And then you bring it home, and one of two things happens. Either you cut it with a knife, and you open it up, and you know how it has the seed in the middle. It will all be as hard as the seed, the whole seed. In fact, the first time I bought avocado in the U.S., I was like, I was living on my own, and there were a bunch of foods and a bunch of produce that I had never tried until I was out on my own, right? And so I remember buying an avocado and bringing it back and trying to cut into this avocado. You would think I was cutting the kitchen counter because it not only did it have like no give to it, but by the time I was done, I had actually cut through the whole avocado because the whole avocado was as tough as the seed. Or the second thing will happen. The second thing, which is you bring the avocado home, you put it on the counter, and it disintegrates in front of you. It gets so soft in front of you that you go to cut it, and it's like, no need, and it opens up. And you see a tiny demon's face. A little whisper of vapor goes up. And you lost. No, never take for granted the food that you have. This is real food. Like I couldn't understand. I can understand being vegan in the U.S. because you probably should. Like I can understand being vegan in the U.S. because like being vegan in the U.S. is like a self-preservation because they're telling you. Sometimes they'll tell you, we've actually loosened a bunch of regulations around what we can feed the animal. So, for instance, in the U.S., there are some pigs that are straight up fed sawdust to stretch the food that they are fed. So it's like sawdust, they cut it with whatever they're feeding them. So then when you eat it, you're like, oh, there's no wonder it tastes like splinters, you know? And here, y'all are like, oh, no, we should eat quality meat. And that quality meat, I have not been to a farm in Australia, but I've passed a couple, and it looks like a good life. I feel like it'd be very hard to be vegan here because you're eating good meat. This is very good meat, but all this meat has a story. Every burger could have its own like Babe trilogy. You know what I mean? That's what happens when you eat good meat and it's treated well. It tastes good because it was good. That was a good dude that you. Oh, he was courageous. He was good to his friends and everything. That's why meat's so supple, you know. In America, you're like, no, I could tell this meat also, it not only did it have a hard life, but it probably wasn't a good person either. Like this is, you could tell this chicken was racist or whatever. I mean, like, something. Even the animals has been an adjustment. I'm sure so many people come and visit and talk to you about like, oh, your animals. It's all terrifying. How do you do it? How do you get by with the fact that like everything can kill you? Y'all just don't care, you know. And it is weird what is after you here, you know. Like I saw a spider here. Don't do that. Don't do that. I saw a spider here, and it's crazy. This is backwards, by the way. Every science book in the U.S. or fairy tale I've read goes the opposite of how it goes here. Because y'all's biggest spider that has, like, personality. Your biggest spider that's over here just floating in front of you. And legs open. I don't know if this actually happened or if it happened out of fear in my head that I was filling in the blanks and stuff like that, but I could swear I heard it. It was in front of me like, yeah, I mean, like it had a chuckle like an uncle. You know? That one you don't need to worry about. Y'all will walk up to that one, let it crawl on your hand, open the door, and toss it out. That's crazy. I need to understand how opposite of every law of human fear that goes against. Meanwhile, the smallest, the tiniest, not even worth mentioning. Little, you could barely see it. That's the one that bites you and you explode. You. I've watched it happen. I was watching this nature documentary, and this dude. It's funny because maybe it wasn't a nature. Actually, okay. To be fair, that was, I don't know. It was probably, I don't know if racist is the right word, but it was probably bigoted of me to be watching this Australian guy talking and see spiders and assume it was a nature documentary. He may have just been living his life, but like. There was a huge spider. It was in his face too, and the cameraman was following him, and it caught right up to him because he turned and it was right there, right? And it was over. Right? And then he went, and then moved out of the way. It kept walking. And I was like, oh, okay. I didn't know he was the bravest man that ever lived. And then this is like maybe like 10 minutes later in the doc, he's talking. I don't even remember what he was talking about, but he's talking. And then he goes, ah! They zoom in, he moves out of the way. The tiniest, barely worth mentioning, smallest spider is smeared on the wall, and then the camera goes back to him, and he's like, I was like, this doesn't make any sense at all. This is completely unfair. Oh, this is sad. Even from what I've seen, like this kangaroo situation. Why didn't you warn anybody? Why didn't you tell anybody? Every single kangaroo has been to jail. Every single one of them. Why are y'all acting? Y'all exported the idea of kangaroos like they were just this fun little animal that loved to hop back on its tail and box a little. That was bad on your part. You should take some responsibility for that. I'm not gonna lie. That can't be our fault that we all thought that they all smiled. Like that's every picture of a kangaroo ever. The mom smiling, the little one popping out of the pouch like. Meanwhile, you come to Australia and the kangaroos are over here. Every kangaroo looks at you like you just said something you shouldn't have said about its mother. That's insane. You didn't tell anybody that they had claws. This is because y'all love to play these pranks on people who come visit. You love to talk about like drop bears and all this stuff like that. Y'all, forget the drop bear. You already did it with the kangaroo. Americans are gonna come over here like, oh, there's one. Give me a high five, throat out. Nobody told us how strong these things were. The first time I even saw a kangaroo that was like real, that was like you know what I mean? Like the kangaroo, the way that y'all would see a kangaroo and keep driving. That one of those kangaroos, the first time I ever saw one was the one thing that you let slip. The one video you let slip to the rest of the world. The one. Where that guy, his dog was with the kangaroo. You didn't tell us that kangaroos love drowning dogs. That sounds like an attribute you'd want to get out there. Imagine if America just sent out an animal into the world, like an American cow, right? An American cow, this is a prime American cow right here. And we just let people come see it. And just never told them details that would be very important to know if you were gonna meet a cow. Imagine if we were like, oh yeah, cow, yeah. You can go pet them if you want. Oh, by the way, they do stand up, so. Just be mindful of that, when you walk up to them and everything. No, this kangaroo's over here. Kangaroos love to drown dogs. As a friend, let me help you with something. I understand that you are used to these wild and dangerous animals, but some aspects of what they like to do are deeply troubling. And so for you to not communicate first that the kangaroo, which we only know through y'all, loves to drown dogs, do better, all right? Imagine if I had a friend who I was introducing you to, right? This is Stefan. Stefan's my buddy. I think you two will get on great. And then, years later, I'm like, oh, by the way, Stefan loved to drown dogs. I think it would change how you feel about Stefan. But anyway, this kangaroo got the dog. And it's like, oof, what a great day. I'm about to do what I do best. And then this guy walks up, and I didn't know, okay, because of how the video played out, I don't actually know or understand how big this man is. Because he walks up to the kangaroo, and the kangaroo is like, that's odd. Usually people see me do this and they run away. And he walks up, must be his dog, or maybe he just doesn't want to see murder that day. And admittedly, the first video that I saw was on silent, so I don't know if he yelled anything or not, but he definitely had the posture and the shoulders of somebody who might have been yelling, which I didn't know that kangaroos understood English, but yelling, and then kangaroo sort of bows up a little bit, and then you saw it, he punched that kangaroo in the face. Punched the kangaroo in the face, and the kangaroo went. This has never happened to me before. And I'm just saying, as a species that boxes, he should have covered. You know what I mean? He should have seen it coming. From memory, it was just a straight left. He should have been able to dodge that. Oh. Got all these animals, I got one. This is the other issue that y'all have. I don't know if you can do anything about this, but this is just me noticing, okay? Slight critique. A lot of the animals that you have here that are adorable and love to murder for fun are covered in fur that makes them that much more adorable. So you'll see a wombat, and you'll think, friend? Hey, buddy. Hey, how are you? And then also, no one told you look at a koala. Once again, y'all just let stuff slide. That should be the first thing you hear about this animal. You see a koala and you're like, wow, this is the white people panda. This is... This is truly incredible. Look at this adorable animal. Look at it sleeping. Loves bamboo, I think. I don't know. Went to a outdoor, I don't know what you would even call it, because it wasn't like a national park or anything, but we went to this place that had koalas just chilling in the trees, and you could walk by and take a little picture of a koala and keep walking and everything. And I saw this koala turned and looked at me, and I was like, oh. It was like melting my heart, genuinely. I was like, oh. It was like meeting a dry penguin. It was like, oh, it's happening right now. Oh, I've seen it in books, and now it's here. And then as soon as it turned to me, it was like, why? It's the people of Australia, with all of your tourism efforts, and with all of the digital footprint of koalas, did you not warn anyone that animal is a person living under a spell cast by a witch? It's the only way to describe what I heard. But it's just normal. I'll tell you one thing. I used to live in Chicago, and I'll tell you about this night that I had. It's not the whole night. It's more just as one instance where I used to do these open mics all over Chicago. I would go anywhere that there was an open mic, and I would do these like what they would call like mixed open mics as well, where it was like music, comedy, magic. You could do anything. And then I would go to the comedy open mics, and then every once in a while, if it was a storytelling open mic or maybe poetry, I'd ask, like, I would tell them, I would warn them that I was going to do comedy. I wouldn't just act like the whole thing was a poem. And then they would let me up, usually. Every once in a while, it'd be places like, no, we only do this thing, whatever. It's fine. But I remember going to this part of Chicago I had never been to before. And I was still new to the city, so I didn't know my way around or anything. And so I do the open mic. An open mic could last anywhere from an hour to like 4, depending on how many people wanted to go up and how many people were willing to stay and watch the people that were going up. And so I was over here in a part of Chicago I had never been in before, trying to find the train again, because I used my phone on Google Maps to find where the open mic was. But because I walked so long and then took a bus and then walked some more, I had no idea where the train was going to be to get me home. And it was already 1 a.m. And so I was beside myself, because I was like, okay, I got to get up at 5. What have I done to myself? And so I'm looking for the train. I'm walking around and put it into Google Maps, and I'm confused because it's like, it says like this stop has maintenance. So I'm like, okay, I guess I gotta go to the next one. And I'm walking. And as I'm walking, I see this guy that is across the street from me in this abandoned lot. And he's standing in front of a dog, and he's going, "What do you want? What do you want though? Like what is it?" And I've just never seen someone yelling at a dog from a place of divorce. Do you know what I mean? Like, because it wasn't like, what do you want? Like when a baby's crying or something, you're at your wits' end. It was like, I'm done. What do you want? Like what will make you happy? And anyway, he's like, what do you want? What do you want? And then the dog, this has happened so fast, the dog just zooms towards him and bites his crotch, right? I guess that's what it wanted. And every man in here knows, every man that hopefully will never be in this situation knows, though, that there's no way to effectively defend once bitten. That's it. But it bit him, and so now he's like, he grabs the dog's collar, and they're both just like wiggling around, right? It's a lot of this. And he's screaming, and maybe you're wondering if or when I helped, and I didn't. I didn't help because, look, the dog, hopefully that dog only got beef with him. But one thing we know about this dog is it bites crotches. Right now, I'm a street away. The only way I could be safer is if I was at home. Like, why would I get involved? But it was crazy to watch because he's like, we're right? And then, right as this dude turns like this, right? There's a car that drives up, jumps the curve a bit, and hits him from behind. Okay? Doesn't hit him that hard. It was already slowing down, but it hits him to where his legs go up. And the dog lets go. The dog runs off. And then a guy gets out of the car and looks exactly like the guy that got bit. Like, he gets out of the car, and I'm like, it's him. It's him not bit. It felt like a moment from a movie about time travel. Where maybe this is what went wrong in that man's life. Maybe he got bit and then he was never able to make it work with the love of his life. Because she was like, I love you, but you bit. Like, we gotta be friends. So then he went back in time, got a car that decent. It was like, I don't know, looked like Kia Sorento or something like that. But then drives up and it's like, oh wait, I focused so much on the time travel that I didn't plan for this moment, what I would do. And I'm late too, because I was supposed to catch myself before I got bit, but now I'm being bit. Maybe the only thing to do, maybe the only thing that will break that dog's grip is if I hit myself with that car. And so he hit himself from behind with the car, and then the dog let go. Mission accomplished, I guess. Clearly, what actually happened is that guy had a twin. Like that has to be it. But even then, even a twin, why would they hit you with the car? Maybe they're not close. I don't know. The entire reason I told you this, the whole reason I told you everything I told you, is because in that moment, being across the street, seeing this thing happen, which took like 0.5 seconds, like I swear I saw him, what do you want? Boom, right? Like it all happened together. Maybe his brother was already coming to pick him up and the dog, maybe he didn't know the dog. Maybe his brother was always gonna hit him with the car. I have no idea. The whole reason I'm telling you this is that being a spectator on the other side of the street from that thing must be what it's like to be an Australian watching America. Because just like me, it's not like y'all are coming over to help or anything. And also, just like me, you're like more confused than you clearly are concerned. For you, it's like a show. You're going home. This is entertaining. I'm the guy in the middle. Like, what do you want? Ah, boom. That's your show. That's my life. That's what life is like. I don't know if you've been keeping up. Why would you? Why would you if you didn't have to? If you didn't have to. I know that you keep up because y'all know about the world and stuff. Y'all have like genuine interest in other countries and people and everything. But I just wow. If we knew you were watching. Now, because I came here, I watched some of your news thinking, all right, look, nobody's perfect. Let's get some dirt on Australia. I watched plenty, and wow, this is. What are you doing over here? You know what I mean? Like some of the things that make it into the news, I'm like, this is an email. This is. Like every country has its problems, don't get me wrong. Like every country has its problems, its tragedies and everything. I'm not saying nothing happens or that there aren't issues. I'm just saying that most of what is put out there to stay in the know you gotta understand, it's almost like speaking a different language because I will read the news here and it'll be like, Kath doesn't like shopping. She hates going to the grocery. So she's already planned all her 2026 meals. Meanwhile, in the U.S., our local news, not a national story, local news will be man set on fire by man on fire. With hug. This is crazy, yeah. No, this is very bad. In case you're not aware, our president, he is definitely now, as one could infer, without any doubt, with complete certainty, in at least every other page of the Epstein files. Like it's so bad. This is very bad. I know it's hard for you to relate because over here, if someone was like in something that doesn't even rise to the level of the Epstein files, right? Like y'all kick people out for like missing a comma in a memo. Like it's, y'all like, this is unbecoming. Meanwhile, in the U.S., okay, so the Epstein files, in case you're not aware, there was a dude named Jeffrey Epstein who was, no, some people don't know. Some people, no, for real, especially here, some people don't know. Some people, like, I know that as a country, y'all keep up with the goings on of other countries and everything, but I'm telling some individual people here will not know. Kath doesn't know. There's no way that Kath knows about the Epstein files. I refuse to believe that we live in a world where Kath is up on all current events in the U.S., but just hates grocery shopping so much. She need all her time to plan all of her meals for 2026, a year that just started, a year that's barely unfolded. Okay, in case you're not aware, Jeffrey Epstein is a horrible person, criminal, the devil, basically the devil, and was leading, or at least the biggest part of this trafficking ring, this cabal of deviants that moved with sort of impunity. He had an island
A lot of bad, horrific things went down there, and he was also, without doubt, Jeffrey Epstein was also, without a doubt, one could not just infer, but pretty much say with real conviction that he was Donald Trump's best friend, like his best friend ever, like BFF, FFFFFFFFF, all the F's, BFF, forever and ever. Is very bad. It's bad, and so they have been fighting. And when I say they, I mean like the House Oversight Committee, I mean Democrats, I mean generally people in the public of the U.S. have been fighting to get the Epstein files released. In fact, ironically enough, Donald Trump ran on being someone who would release the Epstein files. Now, he did not say those things specifically. The people around him were talking about how he was going to be the most transparent president of all time, and he would release things like the Epstein files because there was a big push to get people energized around something that could be controlled, like a sort of narrative, and then that could get people out and voting, and then maybe they would just do away with it whenever the time called for it. But what they didn't account for is that people actually care if there are billionaires running around all over the world doing like a trafficking ring. And so, I know, who knew? And so even though part of his platform was being the type of person that would release everything, as soon as he's in office and they're actually talking about releasing it, everybody's like, uh-oh, that's basically his diary. Like, we can't just... And so Trump fights it for months. I mean, the House is like kind of closed over it for a while. They're actually reps that they won't swear in because they don't want to have the votes. I'm saying this, the Republicans don't want the actual votes to be had for the release of the files. Finally, that happens, though. Finally, they vote on Transparency Act that would release the Epstein files, and it gets passed off from the House to the Senate, and then the president has to sign. So it gets passed to the Senate. The Senate actually, crazy enough, signed it so fast, I don't even know if it touched the desk. Like it just sort of floated in the room like a cartoon piece of paper, and then it landed on Trump's desk, and Trump gotta sign it. He has to sign it, because if he doesn't sign it, it sort of stops with him, and it makes him look super guilty. And he already looks very guilty. He already looks really guilty because, okay, I'll back up for a second. Remember what I said about like you eating McDonald's in the U.S. and it not being food. It's like not food. You know what I mean? And then you eat it, and then you're like, "Ooh, I feel terrible. I feel like somebody fought me in me." Like it's crazy. And then you have to go to the bathroom, and then your whole body is like, "We're never doing this again." But then you do because it's addictive. And I know that like McDonald's here is not the same as McDonald's in the U.S. I know that because admittedly I've had some, and it doesn't do that to you. Like you actually, I bit the food like it was gonna do it. I was like. But then I heard, and I know it's a rumor. I know it's a rumor. There's nothing that confirms it. But I got nervous because I ate McDonald's here. And I heard about Scott Morrison, right? And I was like, oh no, maybe it's not different. Maybe, because that's exactly what happens in the U.S. But anyway, Trump was over here trying to stop the Epstein files from, coming out through word of mouth, through hitting up people in private conversations and everything. And then it finally lands on his desk. He's got to sign it because he's done a very bad job of looking like he has nothing to do with it, mainly because he's basically been screaming over and over, "I don't have anything to do with it. Like, that's not..." It makes you seem very guilty. So he signs it. So then the Department of Justice, which if you visit the U.S. and you are talking about the Department of Justice, you are allowed to go, "Department of Justice?" Like you can.
because we aren't even sure. So then the Department of Justice had 30 days to release the Epstein files, which is crazy. Like, this is crazy. This thing that we thought would never see the light of day is supposed to come out by the law that the president signed in 30 days. And so then they waited until the last day. And they said they released it early, but by 10 minutes of the deadline at midnight. But they release it, and the head of the Department of Justice comes out and it's like, there's actually so many files that we can't even release them all today, which is against the law, because the law was for all of them. But we can't even release them today. We're going to release some today and some tomorrow and then some in the spring. They really tried to release the Epstein files like a season of Stranger Things. It was insane. And then never mind the fact that as they're trying to redact all this stuff, which is what was happening. The holdup was that they were trying to redact anything with Trump's name in it, or maybe people in the party that would look bad for them. They're still in office and everything, so they're doing all this redacting. So when they finally release the files, a lot of it is redacted to the degree which is just ridiculous. It'll be like a picture on a page and the whole page is black, but the whole thing was transparency. You have to tell us what's in there, and you have what's in there. But then they did a bad job of redacting. They did such a bad job of redacting that some of the stuff with Trump's name on it got through. And then they tried to redact it the next day, but that's not how redacting works. We know now. You showed us. In fact, they did such a bad job redacting, because this is what happened as well. There were so many files that they actually begged people to work overtime for a month and a half leading up to what was supposed to be the release, so that way they could redact enough and make sure they were all squared away, so when they released it, they released everything. But that didn't happen because there weren't enough hours in each day leading up to the release. I need to be clear about something. There were not enough hours for the entire team of people that they had redacted. Do you know how bad things must be if there are not enough hours in a month for a team of people to blacken out enough things to exonerate the president? Anyway, they finally released it, and they did such a bad job of redacting that some of the files were redacted in Word. And so they basically copy and paste to a Word document, highlighted it in black, and then put it back for the... So if you were to copy and paste some of the Epstein files into Word and unhighlight it, you could read what the Department of Justice was trying to redact. Which is so wholly embarrassing as a country. And it's all because Trump has done such a bad job of trying to cover up that he's not in the Epstein files. Scott Morrison did a better job. Imagine if Scott Morrison was over here. I was never at McDonald's. You'd be like, oh, it definitely happened then. Why is he screaming? Yes, it happened. It's so embarrassing because it's to redact stuff we know. That was his best friend. It would be like trying to redact any relationship between peanut butter and jelly. I know y'all. I know y'all don't roll with peanut butter and jelly like that. I know that. I know y'all are that's not food, but it. But to us it is. I mean, you know what I'm scared of? I'm actually terrified for you if y'all started eating peanut butter and jelly, because it would be real peanuts. It'd be jelly from a fruit. And
I don't know if any one man is ready for all that power. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But this is bad. It's about as bad as getting bit in the crotch and then hit by a car. And a whole country of people just watching. Because I will say that there are people, I know there's like murmurings and there's attempts and there's the schools of thought here that would like to bring more of what America does. I'm just telling you what I've heard and what I've seen, and I'm just saying, as someone who lives there, don't. I am begging you, don't do it, all right? Because look, I understand every country is going to have its problems, and every place is going to have things that feel like they can be solved by taking a piece of what another place is doing. But in those moments, you really got to look at the bigger picture. What is life like for people here? What is life like for people in the U.S., you know? Once again, you take it for granted. You eat food. You eat food, and there's a general belief system that seems to, from the people that I've talked to of differing opinions, both Aussies in the U.S. and Australian citizens here, there is this general attitude, general mindset of the things that a government, a country owes its people. And those things are, I think they're a big part of why this is a great place to live. And I think that tossing them to the side for a little bit more of what America has, which is, I will say, a game. America has a game. You can play this game and you can walk away with nothing, or you can walk away with millions. Spoiler alert, you won't walk away with millions. But the belief that you might walk away with millions allows you to give up things consistently. Give up your privacy, give up your data, give up your rights, give up the things that are owed to you by your country, by your government, as a taxpayer and as a citizen. And that's something I would never want to see happen here. There are beautiful things in the U.S. I'm not just trashing the U.S. all over the world. I'm just being very honest about it. But I just see people who have a genuine belief in what seems like an understanding of what it takes to take care of their neighbor. And when you take care of your neighbor, then eventually you are taking care of your country, you know? I understand there are things that I can't understand about living here. I'm not acting like I know the ins and outs of liberal versus labor or anything. I just know that when it comes to a quality of life, value for money, and being valued by your country as a citizen, there are a lot of things that you are doing right. I understand that you strive for more, and you should. You should keep fighting for the best possible world to live in, the best country to live in, nonstop, all the time. It doesn't mean that you can just pat yourself on the back and quit. It just means that what you're doing is working, whether you know it or not. Traveling opens your eyes to how people are living in different parts of the world. And I'm telling you, as someone who has started traveling and doesn't want to stop, I'm seeing all the ins and outs of places, and yes, what they may be lacking, but what they're really doing right. And I'm telling you, when I meet people, when I talk to people, for all of its problems and for all of the things that I hope get better about living here, with living here, you're doing a lot right. A whole lot. And you can tell that you're doing a whole lot right because Kath is in the news. Melvin, y'all been amazing. Thank you so much. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much for coming out.